All right, welcome to Culinary Arts again with Mrs. Chase. So today we are going to get you ready for Taco Tuesday. I think it's so important that every kid know how to make a dinner meal for their family. In my house, each of my girls learned how to make a meal so that if things were tight or I was running late, they could jump in and make it. So this could be your meal for your family. So on Taco Tuesday, we make just that, except I make taco salads, and I'll show you how to do this. I get all the toppings ready first that I like, and there's so many things. Your family can decide maybe I only want 3 things, or we want to have 10 things. You get to decide based on your family's budget and the things that they like. Right here I have cilantro and green onions. I have black beans and avocado. I don't eat lettuce, so I have cucumber and then tomato. We have sour cream, we have cheese, of course, there's guacamole, yeah, I cheated, store-bought, and then salsa. So I take the time to prep everything first, get everything ready to go, because when the meat comes off the stove, I want to be able to have my dinner. So as far as prepping the meat goes, you can choose so many different options at the grocery store. So there's packets of taco seasoning, and I'm going to use these today. There's this liquid taco seasoning from Fontara. I mean, today I was at the grocery store and there's probably 10 different choices I had. So pick the one that suits your family. There's also at Costco, they have this big container of taco seasoning. This is probably the most economical of all of them, and it lasts a really long time. But what you're going to do is follow the directions on the back of your package. Whatever your package says to do, you're going to follow the directions. I'm going to double my recipe today and have 2 pounds of meat because I like to have leftovers, but you could just do 1 pound of meat, then it's 1 package. 2 pounds of meat, 2 packages. And on the backs of this, again, it shows you what to do for different quantities of meat. Now, Courtney will tell you, my daughter here who's filming, that I should have done ground turkey. You can do this with ground turkey, you can do this with ground pork, and you can even just take chicken and cut up chicken and fry it up with some taco seasoning and have chicken. So today, let's get started. I have 1 pound of ground beef already in the frying pan, and you don't need to add any other oil or anything. The fat from the ground beef is enough to keep it moist. So let me turn on my oven. And this is going to take a little bit. I chop it up as best I can. Remember not to leave the stove and walk away when you have something on the stove. That's not safe. You want to be able to stay here and watch it and make sure that everything's okay. So, oops. Oh, I need it on a lot higher than that. I'm just going to be stirring this and turning it over. It's going to brown on the bottom, and I want to then turn it over. I'll wait to show you that. What a great tradition to have Taco Tuesday, though. We probably have it twice a month. We don't do it every single Tuesday. That seems like a lot, but we definitely find the comfort in having taco salads. There, it's just starting to cook. You want to make sure that the pan that you're using, if the handle will get hot, that you're careful with that. Sometimes you may need to have a mitt to hold. I like to use a spatula to work with my ground beef. You see it's starting to cook now. You can hear it cooking now, right? So you just want it to be even, so I want to move it around quite a bit. Give it a chance to sizzle, and move it again. So we'll come back in a minute and I'll show you when this is all ready for the next step. I'm just going to stay here, cooking my ground beef. So you can see now my ground beef is all done. When it gets to this kind of grayish brown color, you are done, and it's broken up into little tiny pieces like this. That's when you know that you're fully cooked as well. Now, ground beef comes with different fat content. This one has a low fat content. It's like 85%, so it has about 15% fat. So it doesn't have a lot of oil that's left at the bottom, a lot of fat that's on the bottom, but some of them have higher fat content, so you may end up with a larger amount of fat in the bottom of the pan. I like to drain it because I end up with a healthier dinner if I drain the fat off. You're going to want to have an adult do this for you because this is dangerous. Hot grease is very hot, and I have a bum elbow, so I need to do it. I'll do it this way. So it's heavy, so you want to, and then I drain it into a metal bowl in the sink, or you can put a little metal pan in the sink. It's very hot, and you're not going to want to put water in this bowl. You're going to want to let the fat coagulate. All right, so now we're ready for the next step pretty quick here. My package calls for some water, and again, you're going to follow the directions for yours. Some call for water and some don't. So we're putting some liquid back into the pan, turning back up the stove a little bit, and then let me pull back a little bit. I'm going to put the seasoning mix in. It's really just this simple. You're going to cook it a little bit, lower the heat, so it's just going to simmer here. Again, I have 2 packages because I have 2 pounds of meat. And I followed the directions for the water content that was on the package. The directions are right on the back. Now I just mix this all in. We're eventually going to get to a simmer right now. It's a little bit warmer because we want to have a lot of this water evaporate. We're going to mix up all of the seasoning mix to this so the meat all gets seasoned. You want to be really careful not to splatter. I think the hardest part of cooking on a stove is trying to keep your stove clean, because there's nothing harder to clean than the top of a stove sometimes, especially if something's boiled over. Oh, look at this. So you can see it's kind of turning into that carameling color. I don't see any powder left. It's all been incorporated into the water. This is perfect. Oh, look at me. See, I just messed up my stove. Okay, now I'm going to turn it down so it's just simmering. There you go. And it's ready to serve at this point. You'll just leave it on a very low simmer until everybody's dished up, and then you can turn off the stove. So, oh, I need a bowl. Guess that would help. All right, so let's go back to our choices here. We have different types of tortilla chips. Now you could do this with small street taco type of tortillas if you want, or those hard shells. I just never can, everything just falls out of it. So I find this a lot cleaner. So I put some tortilla chips at the bottom of my bowl. Now, if some of you kids like Doritos, add some Doritos, and then I crush them. Crush them all up. Okay? All right, and then I need another spoon. Then I'm gonna put some of the taco meat, sprinkle that on top. And now you can really individualize this. Let me come back over here so I can show all of our options. So I love to add some tomatoes. The trick here is to not overfill your bowl, because then you will be a mess when you're eating it. But putting some cucumbers, because that's my thing, it's my jam. Definitely want some avocado and lots of that. It's one of my favorite things in the world. You can put some green onion. You can put some black beans. Oh my gosh, this is looking so fantastic. I can put some cilantro. Nice. Now you can use guacamole. You can use salsa. There's a whole list of options that I'm going to put online for you. Just things to think about. Now cheese, obviously the cheapest thing to do is buy a block of cheese and grate it. I just went for the fast option of some of this pre-grated cheese. And a dollop of daisy, right? If you like sour cream, sometimes this is kind of a refreshing side option. So here you go. This is so good on a Tuesday, and it's comfort food. Now before I take a bite, I'm gonna show you what to do with leftovers. So the next day, and one of the reasons why I love to make so much of the ground beef is you can make nachos the next day with the leftovers. So you take your chips, and you have to think, what do I want to get hot? I wouldn't want tomato or the cucumber or the avocado necessarily to get hot, but the black beans, I can sprinkle some black beans. Those are okay to get hot. I'm definitely going to go back and get the ground beef. Oh my gosh, this makes the best nachos, you guys. So yummy. I guess the tomatoes would be okay hot. Let's do that. I'll put a few of the tomatoes on. Just want to make sure you kind of evenly distribute what you're putting on. And then of course the cheese is the best part of any nachos, right? Okay, we'll put this in the microwave for, I'd start with 30 seconds. You don't want to overcook the cheese. It gets really super hot. You'll put it in the microwave for about 30 seconds, and maybe another 15 if needed, and then you add the other toppings, or you can add another layer if you want more than one layer. We could do more than one layer, but this is the perfect way to use leftovers from Taco Tuesday. So this is your Nacho Wednesday. Anyway, thanks for coming again today. See you next time.